The Battle of Britain is about to begin.
Deep right, we got extra up there. Let's follow a range on deep right. I'm doing out right on the target right now. I've got a couple of these right in front of me. I'm going after it. Right, I got him.
Welcome back to the Lead Pursuit Podcast. Tonight, I am here with two giants of historical gaming. Maybe they're the Amos and Andy of historical wargaming, the Lewis and Clark of the expedition to the cold white north of wargaming, or maybe they're the Rube and the Goldberg of wargaming. No, tonight, the nerds of war are joining me, Mike and Don. How are you doing tonight, Mike? I'm going to talk to Don later. Actually, he's on the list, so I'm probably not going to talk to him.
That's good. You know, we can just queue him up for at a later date.
Yeah, I think I'll figure out how to mute him manually as the producer here. Don, how you doing, buddy? I guess I'll take you off mute.
I don't have to talk. I mean, I can just sit and watch you guys.
Lurk like a member of the Epstein files.
Yeah, I mean, if
I didn't search Don in there.
Stop. I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. No, It's good to have you guys on so that tonight we can at least talk about your historical games and the other good things going on at Adepticon Historicals and the changes and the vast difference between last year and this year, or the few small improvements that have been made.
There is a huge change from last year.
Huge change. What's that huge change? Let's start with this huge, monumental change.
All right. I need drum rolls, picture flashing lights, eagles.
Yeah.
We will have a bar on the fourth floor.
I'm not sure if this could be the end of historical gaming at Adepticon or if this is the start of a brand new golden era. No,
just wait till
Adepticon
2027. Mike needs a new liver.
Yeah, or Adepticon 2027. No alcohol at all in the Baird Center, thanks to the historical guys.
Apparently, alcohol banned from Milwaukee.
Yeah, exactly. Milwaukee's a dry county now. Oh, yeah.
See, we have goals, people.
That'll be good. Yeah, no, that'll be good. That thanks to the staff. I know you lobbied heavily. I tried to lobby a couple times when I was on the phone with people and say, hey, the fourth floor can support it. We got plenty of people, plenty of games going on. So when you're at Adepticon, go buy a drink or 7. Not that I'm encouraging too much alcohol consumption, except for people that I'm playing games against. But yeah, that's going to be a good change. I'm really psyched about that. I am psyched about the fact that while we're up in the nosebleed section, there's been a lot of discussion, I know, with the main Adepticon crew about signage, how to flow people up there, kidnapping neckbeards on level 2 and dragging them forcibly to level 4 and then showing them what a historical war game is. So
we are accepting volunteers for that role. So
yeah, exactly. Or we may just put a little trail of plastic that goes up there, a little trail of sprues. See how many neckbeards follow that and
Prussian
come up
blue
and visit us.
Prussian blue.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, look, ultramarine blue. Why is it labeled Prussian blue? It's ultramarine blue. Yeah. So there's going to be some good changes. I know there's still some constraints we're going to have. Obviously, we share the same area with the GW releases and some of the other big content releases. So there's going to be times it's going to be crowded around the entrance there. But
the way I look at that is the GW one at least is Wednesday night. So yes, there is potential interruptions with setup. But at least by the time that's on, most events are going to be set up. Most people are good. They at least have everything they need in the hall, so they can just work in the hall and do things. I'm also hoping that, with some extra signs, people might start, maybe I should turn this corner and look at something that's not a Space Marine.
Look at these people that wear deodorant and play games based on history. Yeah, no.
It's as ridiculous as it sounds. It really is.
It is. Why would people do that? No, I think it'll be good. And I joke a lot about that, but I do spend a lot of time going down to the other gaming halls and seeing how things are done. And I think the cross-pollination is good. So I think a chance to at least show people what's going on and tell them, hey, there is still some gaming going on up here. Because a lot of people do come to Adepticon and walk around. It's like Historicon, where you go, I've got no idea what all the games are that are being played, and you walk through and you see some cool stuff, see some stuff you don't recognize, and then see other games that you then go buy miniatures for.
I mean, now that I think about it, I saw the BattleTech pods last year, but I don't think I ever actually saw a game of BattleTech outside of the one that was up in our room.
Yeah,
You know, I volunteer with them. And I don't even know where everything is. So,
well, there's a lot, and I know there's more rooms now. There's an indie gaming creators room, and there's some things that have changed up the layout of Adepticon as it is. You guys were mentioning larger vendor halls and things like that.
So that was last year in the Games Workshop and vendor hall, like in the main convention floor space. We had a big air wall that cut off like a whole nother. I don't even know how many 100,000 square feet or 200,000, some absurd amount of space. So we have that this year. Yeah. So part of the nice thing is, from my understanding, we're integrating, like Heresy is going to be in there. So like everything Games Workshop is going to be under one roof in one area. We're still going to have all the Asmodee, Fantasy Flight, the Star Wars games, everything are going to be in their area, but also the vendor hall is getting a bit larger. So, and for the most part, it's not so much here's a whole bunch of new vendors, because Doug, my money's already fairly tapped amongst the vendors we have, and I got
out without spending any money in the vendor hall last year. $0
I hit under $1,000
in the vendor hall.
I was pretty happy with myself.
I just only went there to see people I knew and then quickly left.
I was smart. I waited until Sunday and then spent like $200 on dice. But
that's all right. Don, what's your secret? How did you dodge out of the vendor hall this last year?
I got out not as light as you, but I got out pretty light. I went in knowing these are the things I specifically want, and was trying to sort of lock myself into that. I knew I wanted to get a game called Lunar.
Yeah,
so I got some stuff for that. And you know what I mean? And just had that's like step one,
which I always fail at. So what I've learned is, if I tell myself I'm only going to go buy either this new game that's getting released or this new miniatures being released or whatever, then I will spend a stupid, ludicrous amount in the vendor hall. If I look myself in the mirror and go, do I really need this one thing that apparently is only available at Adepticon? If I can avoid that, if I can avoid the FOMO of buying the limited figure or whatever, then I'm good, because I'll just roam around and I'll see stuff that I can usually get anywhere else, unless I find a crazy deal with one of the local store vendors, or someone who's got mass collections of stuff, isn't just selling a specific game. Normally I can dodge out of there. And it's a weird shift from a pre-COVID Adepticon, and it's also the games I was playing then. I feel like there are fewer acrylic and accessories vendors at Adepticon in the last 2 years than there were, in the 17, 18 era. And it may just because I was playing a lot more Heresy and 40K then, so I was looking for acrylic. I was looking for dials, but it just seems like the good thing is there's a lot of big name vendors, and the good thing is there's a lot of big name stores, but there aren't as many, hey, I'm going to go to this place and find 47 different sets of templates.
Right. And you might be right, because I think I'm kind of in your same boat. Most of the games I would play, either I need to go to Litco and get borderline custom made stuff, or Lead Pursuit Hobbies. They also
those guys, they're a bunch of jerks.
Yes, those jerks. Why would you give them your money? But I mean, obviously, Don and I just started playing 40K again. We've played one whole game, which is a record for us anyway. It's pretty good, and Don didn't hate it, which is also.
Are these his white primed gray knights that could have been primed gray and saved him like 17 steps?
There's a lot of problems with those gray knights already.
They've used a silver rattle can, and you would already be like 7 steps ahead.
No. Yeah. So, as a total side note, just on this same principle here, I'm painting that B-52 that I printed.
Oh, God,
from that thing, which I had to use a spray can for. I primed it black first because I like how that goes over the resin, and then I primed it white.
That makes no sense at all, but okay.
But it worked.
Then Doug, you just paint everything silver and that's it.
Actually, that would have worked.
When your army is silver.
Also, to be fair, that would have worked for the B-52. But
well, yeah, that's true. That's like an Osprey model I had years ago that I'm like, why don't I just do this entire thing in medium green and then I'll try to do the gray and everything else over the top of it. And that model I think is still in pieces in my storage unit.
Well, then I found that the American bombers weren't just all white like the British ones. They had a white belly and underside and then gray top, so I'm trying to find pictures.
If you did that sack paint job, I'd have to go back and look at what that looks like. That's what I want to do.
So it's now just sitting on my table. I will deal with this post Adepticon when I feel like breaking out tape. An update to all you following the B-52 stories I posted on the Facebook page.
We were just laughing because Matt and I were talking about it at lunch the other day, and we're like, "Oh God, does it take like 3 bases to put underneath that thing? How do you keep it moving on the table?"
I don't even know. We were talking about vendors, I think.
Oh yeah, back to vendors. So, and I will say this. Yeah. I mean, there's been, and it may just be a symptom of increased vendor hall rates. Things, the economics of attending a convention as a vendor. But it seems to me the vendor hall is still always packed. It's not like you don't get vendors in there.
Sure.
But it seems like there's fewer of the smaller indie vendors there than there were years ago. Because
we try to keep our rates pretty competitive,
right?
With everyone else. At the same time, it's still a 10,000 plus person convention. Yeah. There's certain costs, and I don't. Also, think about this. So, let's say, Doug, you were going to come set up and be a vendor there. Right. On top of any booth costs or anything like that, you now also have a week of hotel rooms, flight or driving. There's just a lot of ancillary costs that really add up to where you're suddenly spending 10, 15 grand to attend a convention.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a lot of planes to move.
Yes. I don't think that many people like my little pretty airplanes or Steve's pretty airplanes.
I like them.
I think they're cool. We were all teasing Steve in our little abuse Steve chat, as I will call it, about he should get ready to do another Cold War Kickstarter, and is he going to do the backfire bomber? And I think his last comment was, my computer would melt down trying to do the panel lines for that aircraft. I mean, yes was the answer.
I'm just going to be honest. The second he does, I'm pledging $200 and making him do a backfire.
Exactly. It's like, congrats, I want a backfire bomber. Now,
I mean, I'll just do it out of spite. But
yeah.
It took me 6 months, but I did finally print a B-52.
Exactly.
So what I keep trying to say about the vendors is a lot of them, it's the same vendors, but we're going to have larger spaces. So more
that's
to display.
I noticed that last year, which was good. I mean, it's good when you have large games or large vendors that are doing stuff like for Drop Fleet Commander, and they've got an entire wall of the miniatures rather than half a section of the miniatures. Mm-hmm. So it does seem that a number of the big game companies are expanding their footprint because they're already paying the money to be there, so they can afford to take a few more square feet and offer more product when you're there.
Well, and also it's allowing them to, maybe they'll have more demos in their booth, more things for interaction. It's overall, it's a good thing for the vendors.
Well, that's an interesting point to bring up. That's kind of a behind the scenes discussion for conventions hit a critical mass, and rarely is it a critical mass for actually available space. It's a critical mass for organization. Yes. And I was surprised as we were all in the staff call, and they're like, yeah, we've hit kind of a critical mass for our event numbers that we're tracking, that we can put, into Cvent and have long text for and things. And as everyone drilled down on it, it was interesting that what people said was, well, putting individual demos in there that you sign up for an individual space is driving a lot of it. And I hadn't thought about it until I backed out and I looked at the event listing, and I'm like, oh yeah, there are a lot of discrete times to sign up for demo games that are, I will at this time get a demo game rather than, hey, come by the booth, we'll do a demo. Right.
Like you look at Firelock, they do a great job of this, but they pretty much have a 2-hour demo of every one of their game system, 5-6 of them a day.
Right.
So you figure if that's 24, they'll have 200 plus events by the time the weekend's over.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that system wise, it gets a little unmanageable.
Yes.
But I mean, it's good for the attendees because you can reserve a slot.
Correct.
It's not
I
open
know
to.
if I'm gonna go play Blood and Steel Thursday at 10 a.m., I have a ticket for that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, skipping the vendor hall and poor financial decisions that we can make there.
Future poor financial
what are some of the other minor tweaks and changes that we can at least see to the overall event before we start talking about specific tables and things that are going to be hosted?
Trivia will definitely be back this year. I'm not 100% sure where it's going to be. I know Dustin is still working that out right now.
Okay.
We've been like, it's one of those, we're trying, are we at a hotel? Are we at a bar? At the end of the day, it will be somewhere with easy access to food and booze, because
Good.
I mean, that's half the fun right there. So, and whether or not I get roped into doing the questions the day of in the morning, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's going to be back this year. Hotels broadly the same, parking broadly the same, the different restaurants and everything. There's one of the interesting things, last year they had the Goth Rockers concert.
Yep.
And we're starting to see more of that kind of after hours party, the type of environment that we historical gamers don't really do because we're in bed by then. But
don't talk about Don like that. He is the life of the party. At about 9:35, he shuts down.
I can party with the best of them, but also
8 hours of sleep is the
Go ahead, make your excuse.
Foundation of a healthy life.
I mean,
yes.
We can joke, but it's 10 o'clock on a Thursday Eastern time, and I would probably be in bed if we weren't doing this. So
I would not.
But anyway,
we're wasting our own and everyone else's time.
Yeah,
but
come on. But there's the Goth Dads video dance party and the cool UFO on top of the Hyatt. Like, hey, that's cool.
What?
I'm not going to go to it, but
I am now.
Yeah, it was on the Facebook page. Okay, well, Don's going to go to it.
I think, and this is one of those things that I remember from conventions in the 80s, is the hilarity of all the after hours stuff.
Yes.
And I think that's something that I've missed. And I'm going to take a dig at my fellow historical gamers here. You certainly don't have that at HMGS events. The after hours parties at Historicon, whoo, they're crazy. They're wild. No, but I remember even in boring, uptight Huntsville, Alabama, going to, I had the badge here the other day. I can't find it, but whatever convention in the 80s, it was all the after hours stuff that was hilariously funny and all kinds of cool stuff going on. So anyway, yeah, I think that'll be good.
For years there's been a lot of like unofficial small things, but now that we're kind of out of the suburbs and more of a major metro center, there's going to be more of that.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that develops.
Oh, we could do the Lead Pursuit Nerds of War stand-up comedy night. See how long it is till we all get canceled.
Hey guys, look at how much I've spent at Warlord this year.
God, let's not talk about that. Oh, look how many bendy-winged airplanes I've gotten from Warlord. Oh, too soon?
Dude, I almost bought the Conflict 47 expansion thing where it's like, oh, you get one of everything coming out. Yes, please. I almost bought that last night.
Sucker. Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. As I'm looking at the Legion Imperialis wall behind you, yeah, exactly. There might be a little bit of work there.
That's not all of it.
I know. You told me that when we had that discussion, and that still frightens me. That frightens me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tanks there. No big deal.
That box is heresy stuff, the cardboard box.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Nerds O' War schedules. What are you guys hosting this year? First of all, let's not go chronologically.
Okay.
Let's go by importance of battle. So I'm going to cause a little strife between you and Don here. So what is the most important battle you're hosting?
Obviously, the most important one we're doing is my made-up Victory at Sea game.
Nope.
And I say
Don,
that because
your counterpoint.
Don?
Well, I think in terms
better
of
start with brandy and end in wine.
In terms of ridiculousness, I agree with Mike. It's his dumbass game. Okay, but I think it's going to be fun. In terms of the actual significance of the game, it's Gettysburg. That's it. That's the bottom.
I mean, if you want to be stuff like factual and historically accurate, and not on drugs when you came up with the plot.
Yeah. Wait. Are you doing the 3 days of Gettysburg in 3 days again, or is that next year's plan?
No, that is 2028's plan.
1-to-1 Gettysburg.
and legitimately, okay, not 1-to-1 because
that would be crazy.
I mean, could we do that? No.
More than Mike's thinking about that. Mike's like, that's actually a brilliant idea.
We're dumb, but we're not that
We're going to get up and have breakfast, and then we're going to form up and could do 1-to-1.
But we are talking about doing all 3 days and then basically have like a morning track and afternoon track, and then each battle will feed into the other. It's like, the Union did really good on day 1. Well, day 2 is going to be a little bit different. Day 3 is going to be a little bit different. And it will follow those tracks based on what days. Part of the reason we're taking so long of that is while we have everything for day 2, that's about a third of each army. So I want to be able to be like, even if this force wasn't here, I want to have it all on the board, to have it look cool. So it's going to be a couple of years for us to get that going. So in that vein, next year will probably be a lot of repeat games, similar things, but long-term plans. So look behind the scenes. We have events planned out a couple of years in advance.
We certainly don't at Lead Pursuit. I know we're doing airplane games next year, and that's about it.
The flip side is you have a ton of airplanes already painted, and you're like, I'll do this one. Let me go grab pile of planes. And I'm like, hey, I only have 2.5 corps of Union infantry painted. Let's get 5 more.
Yeah.
So
kind of a limiting factor.
Just a bit. So, going back on that, Victory at Sea, we're doing another big battle. I'm just running that once. It sold out pretty quick, which I'm happy about. Like, actually, all of our events have sold out.
Nice. So, and this is not a poke at you guys. Just trying to explain to guys the size of historical events. What is your average number of seats per game? Because a lot of times people go, "Wow, the game sold out. What is it?" And they have this image like we're selling out a tournament. I'm like, hold on a second.
Right.
It's a different scale here.
So we're running 4 black powder games. They were 12 people apiece.
Right.
Because I basically try to do it. It's one division a player. That's you got a couple units. You got that. Works out good. The Victory at Sea game is 12 or 15. I'm now just trying to blank. But I know okay. Yeah, it was 12, and I'm thinking about expanding up to 15 just by moving some ship numbers around because I know there's people on the wait list. And then the Falklands War game, which is also very important and we all like, was 4.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point that some of these scale differently. I know Don and I have talked about it, the difference between running a 30-person furball or something ludicrously stupid.
You have 12 spots left.
Okay, so that means I'm at a 28-person furball. Awesome. Yeah, that's going to be freaking crazy. It's one of those things where some of these historical events, I think people who aren't playing historical but are listening and saying, "Oh, what all goes on at historicals?" These are fun, much more curated events. Mm-hmm. You're not showing up necessarily for a tournament. You're not showing up for it's not a big mass battle like the I keep forgetting the one they used to do with all the Titans, the 40K one. Anyway, it's not
Titanicus?
Any one of those that when I was what was the game system starts with an A, and I'm totally blanking. I have
Epic Armageddon.
Alcohol.
Apocalypse.
But Apocalypse. Thank you. Yeah, the Apocalypse game that was the big U-shaped table and all this, and you had 50 players around the table. This is not that style of big game. When it's 12 players, it's a lot smaller event and a lot more fun.
There's thematic. It's a little more guided. And that's always one of the things that we try to do is I want to have as much player agency as possible, but also I have I move my stuff down to 3-hour windows because I think it kind of gets people a little more focused on playing.
Right.
And then it's cool, we can get in, have our fun, and then have play time.
3 hours. gives you 45 minutes to give a history class to start with.
Yes.
Another 45 minutes for Don to complain about the paint jobs on the miniatures that they're not historical. And that then devotes an hour and a half to play.
Luckily, this year he painted most of the Revolutionary War models, so he can't.
He can't complain.
So instead, it'll be 45 minutes complaining about George Washington.
Only 45 minutes?
So tell me about your Brandywine game.
So, okay, yeah. So
we should
Gettysburg, we've run that before. It's good. We should. Where is Steve Toth, the not quite White Claw of history?
He's probably studying some American Revolution history right now.
You should have. When he was at Brandywine, you should have heard him talking. Well, maybe it's better
for context, listener. Steve, one of the notable members, see, you like the listener comment, joined us when we went out to Brandywine earlier this year, because we like to, okay, we're going to do this battlefield, especially ones that are close by. It's nice to be able to go out there, see everything, get a feel for the ground, take pictures, so we can try to build as accurate a map as possible, or at least vaguely like it, an excuse for us to all get out of the house for a weekend. So, it's a good win. We went to Cigars, so it was phenomenal.
Good excuse to stand around and act like you are being historical and then go have beers. So,
were you there? Because that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly how it happened.
And then we watched Ohio State play football. But
yeah, exactly. We went all the way to the Brandywine battlefield to go drink beer and watch Ohio State play.
And go Scars International. But, so Gettysburg, we've run it before. It's good. We kind of got that down to a science. Victory at Sea, I have my insane plot line where the U.S. is basically just fighting everyone for stupid reasons. I actually have next year's planned out too. Then the plot line's over because I'm out of countries. But really the big one that we're doing new and fresh this year is we're doing the new Revolutionary War models from Warlord, and we're doing Brandywine.
Yeah. I think that I as much as I'm picking on you guys, I think it's going to be cool because whether I think they've totally lost the bubble on where they should invest in epic scale plastic, doing epic, American War of Independence gives you some cool things you can do, even though the battle scales, the handful of battles that would need that scale are few and far between.
And I agree with you, because when it first came out, I thought the same thing, like, okay, I'm happy you're doing this, but why? And then as they release more, it's like, oh, they're basically using the same models for both sides. And then also they work for pretty much all 1700s and late 1600s European warfare. And there were, I don't know, like 6 or 7 major wars in that period.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we're basically going all the way up from, the War of Austrian Succession, the 1680s, to very early Napoleonic stuff could do with that. Like really Revolutionary War, not Napoleonic.
Yeah, you're dealing with a period of history that I couldn't give 2 shakes of a rat's dick about. I just really, really don't care about that history of warfare. It's just a blank spot in my love of history. It's weird.
So. I have a vague interest in the warfare and then a ton of interest in the politics of that time. But
not even that. It's weird. Yeah. It's none of it. None of that. I'm sure that breaks Don's heart.
Don?
Sure.
What?
I'm sure you have opinions on this.
On the politics?
The 1700s?
1700s? Okay. Mark this down. I'm kind of with Doug.
Brace yourself.
I'm kind of with Doug.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, the body Prince Charlie is bad.
Yeah,
Variants forever.
Well, I have some interest in.
I actually did start yelling that at a bar.
I have some interest in learning the history of it, but I don't necessarily have a ton of interest in gaming it at large battles. I do have interest in the Scottish, border reavers, but these are all like skirmish type things, But my family
doesn't. Mine probably was too, but before they got deported to Ireland. So I have very, very little interest in it. I don't know.
Well, they don't fly.
Well, there's no airplanes.
Yeah.
There's no airplanes flew, and if they had balloons, it would have been awesome. Well, no, because and so let's segue into flying games, because it's a flying game podcast, and let's talk about Falkland, because quite literally, I know this is going to hurt the hearts of all two of our British listeners. Sorry, Roger. And Ken, I really don't like the Falklands conflict as an aerial wargaming conflict. And I know we've talked about this a number of times, but you guys are at least doing a good deed, and you're setting up a game and running that one. So that is going to be fun. Do you want to tell us any of the scope or thought to it?
It was kind of my idea. If you remember way back when I got an interest in the Falklands because it was the first war that I can remember. The Falklands War was going on when I was in basic training, and right after I got out of basic training, and we were able to keep track of it, And then I started.
We're not talking about the invasion of the Falklands in World War I. We're talking about
he's talking about the colonization of the Falklands.
Yeah, colonization of the Falklands.
Yeah, both of you.
I don't care about the politics because I lived it.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then I started reading books about it. And then I think I talked to you on Messenger or something like that, Doug. And I was like, this really isn't that interesting because it's basically just the Argentinians getting the balls beaten off of them.
Yeah, it's clubbing baby seals. And I don't say that to denigrate their pilots, but holy fuck, man, when you have 12 no air-to-air missile A4s get bounced by 2 pairs of Harriers, they're going to get savaged.
It's basically a third, fourth-rate military getting beat up by a good military with weak power projection capabilities.
Yeah.
Into that area.
So great books. And I know we talked about it in the Ready Room because they brought it up. There's an awesome book about Skyhawks in the Argentine military and across the Air Force side and across the Navy side. And it's super interesting, but it's super depressing because you can tell they're not terrible pilots. They're good pilots. They know what they're talking about. They're just sent on a shitty mission with, not a whole lot of support.
Right. And at the end of their fuel limits, they could only be there for a couple of minutes. It was very difficult for them. But when I first was interested in it, I thought, well, we could figure out some way of making this interesting. And after I read those books, I thought, well, this is going to be really one-sided. And I don't. We have a thing about when we make events, regardless of what happened, we try to make it so that everybody's going to have a good time and has a chance to come out and have a win, and that sort of thing. And it just seemed like that was going to be really difficult. I did then go on to read some books about the ground war, and that was a bit more interesting to me. But then, and I thought we were kind of done with it. And the idea of doing a Falklands game kind of cropped back up, and so I was trying to put something together and pestering the shit out of you to help me with it. And then, luckily, Mitch Reed popped up.
What does that guy know?
Yeah, he's got a pre-made scenario that he's got. It's a what-if scenario, of course, because, again, you want everybody to have a fun time. And
well, yeah.
Getting shot in the face with AIM-9s, it's not going to be all that much fun.
Well, I think that's the tough thing about a lot of historical wargaming is there are really cool things that could have happened if one very small decision had been made differently at the beginning. And I use the example of some of the Arab-Israeli war stuff that we've gamed at Historicon, where it didn't happen, but the only reason it didn't happen is because Russian GCI controllers didn't commit Russian MiG-21s on Israeli F-4s. And that one decision where they're like, no, we're not going to go for those. We're going to wait for the Mirages. Didn't create this big mass air battle over the Suez Canal that could have been with Russian MiG-21s, Israeli F-4s and A-4s, Egyptian MiG-17s. You could have had some of those things, but one simple decision derailed it. So you're still playing something historical, but you've already said, all right, I'm gonna make that tweak and make the change to that decision and go, sure, the controllers committed the Russians to it. Let's make this a big air battle instead of a non-event that it was.
Yeah. No, and like Don was saying, we want this to be fun. at the end of the day, like, okay, hey, this side got completely creamed. Well, that's not really fun for a side getting completely creamed. Like, we talk about doing 73 Easting a fair amount during the Gulf War. And if we did, we would play the Iraqis and let the players have fun blowing up all the T whatever the hex. And, I forget T-62s, T-55s, whatever. Soviet garbage.
The Falcons thing now has become sort of the perfect storm of everything that I like in a game. You know what I mean? It's a good scenario. It's well thought out. And somebody else is doing all the heavy lifting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's perfect for Don to show up and go, I'm in charge here and I've done none of the work. Yeah.
Just like me helping out with your Malta game last year. How much running of that game did I do?
You started everything. You got it started. Then you're like, and Doug, how should we do this?
I was like Homer Simpson kind of fading back into the hedge,
Yeah, that you exactly were. And that was the funny part. I'm like, wait a minute here. I thought I did this so I wouldn't have to run the game. No, that was a fun one. And I think all joking aside, there's a level of familiarity that I have with running large Blood Red Skies games. And so I'm always happy for people to go and do that. And if you want me there as a backstop, I'm happy to be there to help out because it gets unwieldy at times. And
it does.
And I know we've all had that look where you're like, what do I do next? How do I keep the pace going?
And also mysteriously, the Falklands game is could be over a map that looks very similar to Malta, but that's totally the Falklands.
Yeah, totally the Falklands.
But we bought the mat. It's cool. We're using it.
I had an idea. Don did not like my idea for how to do the Falklands. Now, mind you, it took 3, probably 4x8 tables to make a giant U-shaped battle and make every flight have to fight their way in and out of the target. But
go on.
But if in fact you do that, I know we'd had a lot of discussions about there's some cool things you can do, but oh my God, how long is the game going to take?
Well, what I think would be really cool to do with Falklands, like to me, the air battles are interesting. Is the resource management part of, hey, we have 4 exosets. We're trying to do this. We have so many planes, and play that whole thing. Do it by days. Have like some repair points, things like that.
I'll be honest. I think if you want to do the Falklands and you want to challenge people to make historical decisions, you pull up the map, and I forget which book it was out of. I recently saw it again. The map of the British cap points where they would send the Harriers to orbit.
Sure.
And what you do is you literally say, okay, you're the first guy. You get 2 Harriers. Which cap point are you going to? Okay, you're the other guy that's on station at the same time. Which cap point are you going to? And they commit to that. And then you guys run the Argentinians. And then as everything goes awry, the next 2 players, okay, which cap point are you going to go to?
Yeah. Well, and then
you're trying to save the
game
day.
Goes on, it's like, oh, you don't have enough. Which cap point do you leave open?
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. That's what happens at one point. With the whole, and I forget whether I think that was the same one when the broadsword was hit. I can't remember. But yeah, there's a whole point of not enough British assets to cover the ingress and egress routes and be able to defend against super etendards with exocets and everything else. So,
well,
I think that would be a very interesting game.
Mitch has a very interesting setup for it. The way he explained it is the players will, play their 2 sides, and they'll, play the game out, and they'll get points for doing various things, and then they will swap sides and do it again and get their points for that, and see that's how they will determine the winner. You don't have just one. You're not just playing the Argentinians, and if you take a beating or whatever, you get the chance to play both sides. And I thought that was interesting.
That's good.
So,
yeah, that is really.
I'm looking forward to it. I really
fascinating. I think Mitch Reed is an idiot, and I wouldn't play his games no matter what. No, I say that just because
official opinion of the Lead Pursuit podcast.
Yeah, it is. Oh no, it is the official opinion. The no Mitch opinion of the Lead Pursuit podcast. No, I love Mitch. He's a great guy. Look forward to beating up on him up there since he's managed to scam out of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's really our big thing is the Falklands games could be interesting. I'm looking forward to Victory at Sea. I actually just finished painting all the ships. I just got to get the basing together here. I'm actually trying to figure out how to make my own custom decals for that. And then, Gaysburg and Brandywine, that's in the home stretch of being finished up. So this is also one of the best years for us having stuff prepped and me not having to finish painting my models, 4 hours before I leave.
Exactly.
We're at the hotel, so I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, we're not priming things in the middle of day one. So, yeah, that's a good change. So I don't want to dwell on all the pain that is the internets and the interwebs whenever you run an event. Sure. But things did go good this year. So I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Tell us, some people were not on day one registration, especially historical players. I don't think tend to always freak out for day one registration like a lot of some of the other game systems do. What was done differently and how did it work out?
So Cvent did a queue system this year, and they implemented that because that's basically what caused the issue is, I want to say we've had almost 8,000 registered badges so far, and you're looking at probably 6,000 the first day. So if you have 4,000 people immediately trying to log on at 1 p.m. Central Time, the connection just bogs down. I have time to service things.
I get it. I understand that the Dwarven Lingerie show is the number one thing they want to click on at Adepticon.
100%.
But yeah, but there's not enough seats. You can't all get to that.
There's not enough seat. They only have so many beers to go around.
Yeah, exactly. But so it's crashed the system horribly for the last couple of years. And this year, I mean, other than me being a moron, and I think I was even talking to you guys in Discord. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to log in early.
But
I was about 1,000 people behind in the queue, but whatever, it went quick.
But yeah, I want to say like 1,500 or so, but I got in.
I think it was at 1,800 somewhere in there, but yeah.
I got my advanced bag and everything was good. Like it was pretty painless as far as reg, and even looking through all the comments, there were
a lot of positive, and there were very few people that were like, "Hey, something didn't work." I know there was a glitch, like 8 hours in, 9 hours in. There was a glitch in the evening with stuff not updating. But
even that got resolved pretty quickly.
Yeah. So it seemed like it was running much better. I
registered Don, myself, and another one of our buddies.
Well, that's an important point to bring up because that's just started happening in the last few years, just like mail out badges, the ability to register your entire team at once and do all the registrations at once.
Well, and the big thing is
that's huge.
As I was selecting it, so I have my cart. That's all saved. I think I have like 15 minutes to finish checking out. I did Don's cart. That's all saved. Max's cart. That's all saved. So I don't have to go back and keep reloading information, or I need to process mine real quick before it goes, or this sold out while I was processing. Now my whole cart is screwed up. Over the years, the system has gotten significantly better for what it is, and especially with our unique situation.
I will tell you what still makes me angry, and this is me trying to be a good person. I'm trying to not jump in and grab an advanced badge. I'm like, let all those new gamers buy one. I will only buy one if one's available when I get there. And they're still available when I go logged in. I mean, even last year where I didn't register in like the main 3-4 hour push, I came back at hour 5 and there was still one open. There was a couple of them open. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm buying an advanced badge.
I found there's a Adepticon subreddit at one point, so I now check it daily to make sure stuff's going on. So people were talking about that. It's like, well, can I get one? Is someone going to be selling theirs? I'm like, well, people are going to cancel their badges. It happens, and stuff will come available, but you just got to check every once in a while.
I tell everyone, you really don't want to pay for the advanced badge. The trick is just show up and know that you're going to find people that are going to sell off their stuff, because people are going to get that and they're going to be like, I don't need this box of giant tanks. Well, and be like Mike Lewis leaving with 20 of them or whatever.
Well, he needed them for reasons.
Exactly.
Which also super bummed he's not going to be there this year.
I know.
Yeah.
I am bummed.
That's the worst part of it, really. Honest.
Like, we got Mitch back and now Mike's gone. I don't like that trade.
That's not even trade.
No. But I was really upset when he texted that, but I get it. We might have to find a way to get down to NashCon or something this year.
Yeah, you guys should come down to NashCon. NashCon is a good regional event. I like it. I think it's well put together, and there's plenty of different stuff to do. The Flea market always has interesting stuff. Might have some cantankerous old coots that want to get rid of their things.
So the guy who owns the local, speaking of cantankerous old coots wanting to get rid of their stuff, the guy who owns the game store, who's not the old coot here, calls me up yesterday. He's like, hey, you ever wake up in the morning and think I don't own enough Flames of War? And I'm like, oh yeah, every morning. He's like, some guy's selling me his collection. So anytime he gets them, he calls me so I can have first dibs to go through it, and I'll help him do all the pricing. But yeah, it gets bigger and bigger every time.
That's funny. Yeah, no, don't have that problem. I'm looking at all my Hex Encounter stuff I've been buying recently.
Don just got a new Hex Encounter game, actually.
My God, Don, what Grognard game did you pick up?
I think it's Hex Encounter.
It's not. It's that I told you about it. That Black Orchestra.
Okay, to me it has shit, so I count it.
Cooperative game, which is a plot to kill Hitler. And I played through it. I played a solo game of it. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm thinking about bringing it to it.
We have not succeeded.
We haven't succeeded. We got close.
He was doing was that Sunday and you were telling us about, and I was watching Valkyrie while you were doing it.
Well, Don, I don't think we've had a chance to talk publicly since you purchased the worst Soviet era game ever, Volkerbleeder. You get your chance to tell the interwebs what your evaluation of that game is.
So are you going to make me do this publicly? You just want me? You just want to ask
I'm making you do it publicly.
You know, I'm going to say that I really like it, just so that strokes your little ego. So you can feel good about yourself. I think it's a great game.
I actually feel like you're an idiot if you think it's a great game.
He was just going to dub himself over you, saying
when I say
what have you said we dub it over? That was the best game ever.
I think it's great. I say it's a great game. That doesn't mean that I necessarily agree with everything that you've done with it, but I understand. I can at least see why you've done certain things. We've talked about the whole mechanic with the political officer. You know what I mean? I don't. I don't think they had nearly as much clout as it does in the game, but it is a way for you to introduce chaos and force the player to do things that he may not want to do, and stretch out his resources far thinner than he wants to. I totally
I think you and I talked about this the fun of playing Soviet era games is not necessarily in being historically accurate. It's in being humorously thematically accurate.
Like, there's a certain level of just, we need to match the theme and feel of what you think it should be.
There needs to be the theme of people are effing with you and you have no control over your own destiny.
Well, sure, but it's like when you play a game involving F-18s. It's not easy for you to let things like that go by. My job was targeted directly against the Soviets in East Germany, so it's hard for me to. But it's
let go of those little historical pieces.
It's completely unimportant to how good the game is. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that kind of
that's high praise.
Pushes my button. That's all. But I love the game. I enjoy it.
Didn't need any praise. I just laugh because it's been funny throughout all the years to go through that and say, shit, it's finally delivering. Damn it. He's finally going to get a game.
Yeah. You delivered a game that you could murder somebody with because there's so much shit packed into that box. It weighs like 12 pounds.
Yeah, that box is deadly.
Didn't it take you like 2 shifts just to get all the tokens organized?
Yeah, it was like there was a lot of stuff in that box, man. And I don't even have any of the expansions. Awesome. There's like 14
and I was about to say that was the funniest thing is people who got all the expansions. And there's a moment where I didn't even think about it because I don't think any of my other Leader series, Thunderbolt Apache is probably the closest in number of expansions. I didn't think about what is someone going to do when they get all of these expansions and the core game.
I would love to have the expansions, but I don't got an extra fucking shelving unit to put all the shit on.
Yeah, that's what you need. So anyway, I just had to ask because I thought it was funny because we bandied back and forth so much about it. It was good that you finally had a chance to play it.
Heat online about the game.
I'm always taking some heat,
I offered for a small fee. I would have gone in there and told them what's what. Told them they're full of shit. It's great.
No, because I had to be the most toxic game designer on the internet. So that made me feel good about myself.
You're a toxic human
I'm horribly
being,
toxic.
but
I
as
have
far as
no
game
friends
design
because of my
goes-
toxicity.
As game design goes, I think it's a very good game. But as a person,
Anyway, back to Adepticon, and no, I will not bring it to Adepticon. Steve keeps trying to shame me into doing that, and I'm like,
I'm bringing mine to
you can't bring
Adepticon.
the streaming setup or
Sign
that.
it. I'm going to make you sign the game.
Yeah. We walk around with marker signing games. Look at me, I'm important. All right, other things we need to cover. So I know there's a few key, I don't want to call them media events or things like Warlord's going to do an intro this year again and talk about some of their releases and some of their stuff. What are some of the other ones that you've seen? We know GW does theirs.
Yep.
What's some of the other big stuff that's going to be going on up there?
I believe Trench Crusade's doing one. Infinity's doing one. We were trying to get Battlefront to do one. You know, it was kind of more probably this was a little bit too late in the cycle here.
Right.
Who else is doing one? I don't think Catalyst is. I mean, it's one of those. Last year we had a couple. We got a couple more this year. I assume next year we'll have more. And the other part is we're starting to have dedicated spaces for these types of seminars. So I feel it's just going to naturally happen.
Well, because there's some panels. Because I think Adam from Tabletop Minions, he said he and Vince are going to do a panel. So there's some other live event panel like things that are going to go on, which will be pretty cool. And, you know, once again, we're going to have our streaming booth there. So there's going to be live coverage of tournaments. Yeah, that's going to be funny as always. Me and Brett as the talking heads. But we've got a lot more events. We've got, you know, I was surprised. I looked at the numbers and I told you guys this the other day. It kind of cracked me up. I'm like, we went up to like 81 seats across all of our events. I'm like, since when did I have that many games that I needed to play? So it proves people want to come out and play little airplane games, which makes me happy. And there's still a bunch of open seats for the fur ball. So that's good. But it put Steve in a bind where I'm like, I need more swag, Steve. Make more glasses, make more magnets.
Back to the mines.
Yeah, exactly. Put the kids back on the laser cutter. Get them doing all this stuff. Yeah, and that's why I told Steve. I said we could absolutely screw up the games, but my God, if we don't have Lead Pursuit swag, we're screwed. So,
yeah. So,
but yeah, I'm excited to see what the glass is going to look like this year, and if you're going to have a new shirt design, maybe.
I
think I only have 5.
I'm excited to see.
I think you need another one. Actually,
the other guys, we got some friends coming over from England, and I'm kind of excited to see.
Yeah, talk about your English compatriot friends.
Well, we've been kind of. I for years have been watching part of this Plastic Crack podcast, and when we first started Historicals, we decided we wanted to do a charity event, and they sort of jumped in and helped out with it, painted up some armies for us and an army for us and sent it over and all that kind of thing. And so last year we went over there. They have a games day where they get their guys together at a local game store. So we went over to England, and while we were touring around, we stopped over for that and had a great time. So we, of course, extended the invitation. If any members of the group want to come over, more than happy to show them a good time. So 4 of them, foolishly, are planning to come over. Now, one of them's
I'll refer to them as the British mail order brides.
Yeah, one of them's been to the States a fair amount for work, and but I don't think the other 3 have any experience with our.
Oh my God! They're going to go to Milwaukee. Oops! I'm so sorry.
So
yeah, our peoples. That's a nice way of putting it.
So they are coming over, and we're trying to put together some little things to take them around and see, and get to they were talking about going to see a Milwaukee Brewers game. Apparently,
yeah,
the Brewers have a preseason game there. And I'm
at least they are not. I was going to say that the problem sometimes bringing our European friends over is the tyranny of distance. They assume that America is the same size as the boot of Italy. And I still remember Roger saying, yeah, I think it'd be great if I went to Historicon with you guys, then drove down to Florida to go see Cape Canaveral. We're like,
Yeah.
enjoy that drive, brother. We'll see you 2 days later.
There, they walk everywhere. You know, they walk like a lot. And so we would always Uber to places, and a lot of them would give us shit all the time. Oh, you Americans, you lazy Americans. And I always told them all the same thing. Let's see you fuckers come over to America and see how much you're walking around. So they're going to get a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to get a chance.
Payback's a bitch. That's awesome.
Yes.
So, yeah. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing how, just kind of their opinion on how American conventions compare to things that they're used to, and that sort of thing, and see what they think. So yeah, it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a great time. You know, of course, we're gonna tell them to stay away from you and your people.
Yes, the rest of the miscreants. Yeah. Stay away from those UK haters over there in the Leap Shoot podcast.
Yeah, I know you're. I told you. I just said you're a toxic human.
I mean, you've already said you're fans of the Argentinians, I think.
I am. Huge fans. I like Argentinian beef. Let me start that political argument here. No.
Oh, God.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly.
No, we were in this bar in Derby, because I got to pronounce it with an A, even though it's spelled with an E, because English. And there's a painting of the body Prince Charlie on the wall, and it confused the hell out of me. That was a few ciders in, so I probably wasn't thinking that very clearly, but just really annoyed me because I'm like, he's the enemy of your monarchy. Why is he up here? And I kept asking them this, and they just were not dealing with it.
He ordered 3 ciders at
once. Or the American.
He got a deal on 3 ciders, so he decided that was a good idea.
You got a free drink with the meal, and apparently somehow I got 3 of them, and I was like, well, I got to drink all these now. Correct?
Sounds like a terrible problem. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was good cider.
Oh, that reminds me. I didn't buy any today. Oh, Sam Smith's. I can get it at my local store here. I need to get some more of that because I can't get Hawkstone. So apparently I can't get any of Jeremy Clarkson's brews.
You know, those English Alabama, guys should bring us some. That would be very
nice
gentlemanly of them.
Yeah.
All right. What other things do you guys have that you want to talk about for Adepticon Historicals?
I mean, I'm looking forward to this year. Part of me, I was worried for a minute of, are we going to have enough events? And I then started looking at how many events there were. I'm like, no, there's actually a ton of events. And then we've actually, overall, I mean, obviously we've talked about ours, but the HMGS events have sold very well. The Art America ones have. Like, everything is doing good this year. Yeah. And I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It is. We should hopefully get some more traffic. I'm also thinking, yes, people had trouble finding us. It's also year one. We're all figuring out where things are. So cool. If we have a little more signage, we look at the app. We have a bar up there.
Oh, there's an app. Happening. Oh, let's talk about the app. You know, there's an app, guys.
And that is one of the big things. Like, obviously, I know technology. Yeah, sometimes we got to adapt to that. But the nice thing about having an app versus like a physical sign is, well, if we change something, we got to print a new sign or do something like there. Right. On the app, we could just make that adjustment, move things around easy. But there's full maps there. Furthermore, like when you click on your event, I believe it tells you like, oh, it's in the Baird Ballroom. Then you can look at the map and see where the Baird Ballroom is, and
yes,
help move that.
And I know a lot of them had the tables labeled and layout, especially for organizers. That's been in there in years past and things. So like for tournaments and stuff, they'll all have numbered tables. My intention for historicals this year, I was going to wait till we get a little bit closer, so things all finalized. I want to have a little, one of those plastic holders for the table that could sit there and be like, oh, here's Blood Red Skies Falklands game Friday. And it would be up, hey, come grab it from the stand in the morning. You put it next to your table and you're setting up. People can come to it real quick. Return it when you're done. Right. That would be good. How you could have the little Brazilian flags that like Disney, follow them around. All right. Well, guys, it's good to talk to you. It's always good to catch up and chat about historicals. And now, I mean, I haven't even been tracking how many days. What are we at? Go look at my clock over there.
We are
40 days.
47 days, 10 hours, 6 minutes, and 35 seconds now.
So I better finish painting some stuff. I've been off a little more than I can chew with some of these things, but that's all right. It wouldn't be Adepticon if it didn't have a last minute crush for getting terrain ready. Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Don, any last spears you want to throw my way, you big jerk?
No, I think toxic human covers everything.
It's broad.
I guess I've peaked. That's as good as I'm going to get. No, well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you being on the podcast. And as always, I want to remind people to share the podcast, all those things you're supposed to do so that other poor, sad human beings can listen to the podcast and waste their hour listening to a bunch of pathetic people pushing little plastic miniatures around a table.
Misery is better when shared.
Yes. Join us, or else you're going to become an old a model train person. You don't want to be one of those.
Slightly cooler than that.
Yes, slightly in the group of dorky hobbies. But anyway, as Steve would always have me close and say, if you're not flying hard, you're hardly flying. I still have no idea what that's supposed to mean.
What? That's worse than the other one.
Yes.
Keep climbing for advantage.
It is. Thank you.
I didn't think it possible. He came up with a worse one.
Yeah, it's terrible.
4 hours later, oh shit, we should just recorded this conversation.
Before I fall asleep, before I go get my tapioca and go to bed.
Go get your applesauce. Suck it through a straw.
Sauce.
Yeah, definitely.
I like applesauce.
It's good. It's good for you. Oh, now I want some applesauce.